Hello, all, and welcome to the second episode of Mission Life Lifestyle for Environment. If you have not seen the first episode, it gives you the intro of what the project is and what are the sub themes. So please go and watch that first episode. I'll leave the link in the description. Let's go to the second theme, which is basically to save water. So the first activity which is suggested is that adopt cultivation of less water intensive crops like millets. Now this is more agriculture related, but we have to understand the scale here, the amount of water just by going for some kind of less water intensive crops. The amount of land which is under cultivation is very high throughout the country, and it's with, of course, with mechanized farming and stuff, it has come down a little, and with the expansion of housing and conversion of agricultural land, but still there is a lot of agricultural land. We have a huge population, there is a huge requirement of crops, and for irrigation therefore we require water. But if we go for less water intensive crops, then the amount of water required for these for cultivation purposes, for irrigation purposes will be less, and then we can save on some water. So this is the first activity. The second is participate in recharge of rural water bodies through Amrit Sarovar scheme. Now for those of you who don't know what this Amrit Sarovar scheme is, this is basically, under this a lot of water reservoirs are being made, especially under MGNRGS and in collaboration with soil department, water conservation department, irrigation department, and many other departments. So basically throughout India there have been certain targets given that in every year you create these many water reservoirs or Amrit Sarovars, and this is going on very well. In fact, there was a mission called Jal Shakti Abhiyan, under which when I was in East Garo Hills was one of the districts under this Jal Shakti Abhiyan, and we created a lot of small check dams, water reservoirs, and some huge reservoirs also. And what I have seen is that wherever such water conservation project or water harvesting structures have been created, the wells nearby, the ring wells nearby, they never go dry, and there is always water even in the summers. So this is a very good thing, and what it does is that it stops soil erosion. That is also very relevant, especially for a state like Meghalaya, where there is a huge rainfall. So as a subsequent result of that, there is a lot of soil erosion. So to stop that, that is one component, is that making such dams, it holds the water, so there is a groundwater recharge at the same time, and then that excess water can also be used for irrigation, etc. So it also helps a lot to do groundwater recharge. So this is a very important activity. Now the third activity suggested is that practice crop diversification, move from rice and wheat cultivation to pulse and oil seed cropping system. So now this crop diversification is also very important, that when we go towards less water intensive and when we rotate the crop, the soil fertility also is improved, and the soil nutrition also is improved. So I will not go into the details of crop diversification, but this is one of the things which has been suggested. So next is basically use efficient water saving technologies like micro irrigation, bunding farm ponds, zero tillage, direct seeded rice, alternative wetting and drying, and others. So there are many such methods are there, water technologies are there, through which we can save a lot of water. I remember when I was experimenting with drip irrigation. So usually if you have a kitchen garden and you are growing certain vegetables, if you just give it water through pipe or through buckets, you will realize the amount of water you are giving it every day is huge. And if you just use drip irrigation, so drip irrigation is you're just giving the water required at the root and nowhere else. So it's still very effective. So you will see the plant gets all the water, because anyway the plant is going to take water through the roots, not through the leaves or on the surface. If you put a lot of water on the surface, it will anyway evaporate. So this drip irrigation saves a lot of water. So similarly, these water technologies should be used to save water. So we are seeing that a lot of these suggested activities are relating to agriculture. That shows that the amount of water agriculture is taking. So it's very important to make a note of that. So next is create rainwater harvesting infrastructure in home, schools and offices. Now this is more so important in states like Meghalaya, where we have more than 3000 mm of rain every year, and this I have practiced myself. Wherever I have been, I have created those water harvesting structures, and for 6-7 months purely we have used this rainwater for all the basic activities of watering the garden, kitchen garden, washing vehicles, washing clothes, everything, these water. So this can totally replace, if you have a larger capacity to store water, then this can totally replace your requirement, and you can go, you will not be depending on any piped water supply. So this is very important. It doesn't cost very much. That is the most important part of it. Like, you just need some gutter pipes which will collect the water from the roof, and whatever type of roof you have, it doesn't really matter. And even if you have Assam type or a RCC structure, in both cases water can be collected into a syntax or a ground basically tank. It's up to you, but it's not very expensive, and if everyone takes interest and if it's done in a mission mode, I think we'll be saving a lot of water. So in offices also we have done that, and in offices it's possible because the requirement is big and we have big spaces. So for example, the diesel office now has a rainwater harvesting capacity of 1 lakh liters. So that's done under Shillong Smart City project, and that's a wonderful thing. So more and more offices should also be covered. Schools, if we do it in schools, it's a very good impact on the students. They see it every day. They learn the importance of rainwater harvesting, and perhaps when they grow up, they will do it in their homes. So rainwater harvesting. Next is use drip irrigation systems created with waste material whenever possible. So this I have already explained, that drip irrigation is very effective, and it in fact it reduces the water intake to by huge proportion, and once you practice yourself, you will realize the amount of water which can be saved. So that's drip irrigation for you. Next point is that reuse water from washed vegetables and water plants and for other purposes. Yes, reusing water. So if you have like a wash basin and you're washing, let's say, vegetables or anything in that, so the water which is going down from there, that pipe can be used for your kitchen garden, and if you want to put a basic filter, you can put a basic filter, but otherwise everything can be used for other purposes as well. So this is reusing water. Otherwise it's just it's just flowing out of the drain and flowing out for your house. So that can be reused for your kitchen garden, that can be reused for some other purposes. So we have to maximum what we can reuse, that has to be seen in a house and in other places as well. Next point is that pre-soak heavy pots and pans before washing them. So it's a very basic suggestion, makes sense, because if you pre-soak, then less water will be required. Otherwise a lot of water you keep on rubbing, and that those stuff is not coming out, and it takes a lot of water then. So pre-soaking heavy pots and pans before washing them, I mean, that's a suggestion for the kitchen to how we save water on washing the utensils. Next point is that do not discard unused stored water every time there is a fresh water coming in taps. So now this is also one point, that whenever we store water somewhere and then there's some fresh water coming in, let's say in the morning, so we just empty the whatever tank or pot holding water is there, so that can be used for something. Just do not throw it in the drain, and use it for your kitchen garden, use it somewhere else, or store it somewhere else. But just because fresh water is coming, you should not throw out the existing stored water. Use it properly. So this is a very good suggestion. Next one is that use buckets instead of hose pipes to water plants, floor and vehicles. So the problem with the hose pipe is it's continuously flowing, and most of it gets wasted, because you are simultaneously doing something also. So you need at some durations of those process, you don't need the water to keep coming, right? So but there's a hose pipe, so it keeps on coming and it keeps on going to the drain. So it's better to use a bucket where you can control it whenever you need it. Then you take it using a mug or something. So basically that's a good suggestion, because hose pipe, it wastes a lot of water. Now next basically is that fix leaks in flushes, taps and water pipes. Very basic suggestion, but very meaningful at the same time. If you see any households, if you inspect any households or any institution, any building, you'll observe that of course there will be some leak, something wrong in the pipe somewhere. Some water is dripping, but it's not too large to get your attention, and it keeps on happening for over a long period of time. A lot of water is wasted. So whenever there is such kind of issue is there, we need to immediately fix it so that no water is wasted. So all these are very small suggestions, but over time they will make a big impact and they will save a lot of water. So next point is use water efficient fixtures for taps and shower heads and toilet flush units. Now here, if you deeply observe, if you go to the older structures, the flush of the toilet, there was only one flush, so the whole whatever water is stored in that small tank, it comes out. But sometimes we need less waters, as a urinal, or so there's no control on that. So that now these modern day ones, they have two options, whether you want large amount of water or small amount of water, so that is there. And the taps these days are also very efficient. Earlier it was just there was no control really, and now the control and the efficiency with which it comes out, it's much more in the newer ones. So whenever you are going shopping for these tapware stuff, and please take the most efficient ones, because over the time it will make a lot of difference. Now next point is that invest in a water meter for your house to measure water consumption. See what basically there is no measurement of how much water we are using. Of course, those who are already having a water meter, because there is a piped supply and all, so you will know. Like electricity, we know how many units we are consuming, and we can make conscious efforts to reduce that, and in the next bill we will see, okay, so it has come down. So similar to water, I think we should do a water audit, and how much water are you using in your daily life and how can you reduce it. So if you are not able to install a water meter, at least do a water audit at your level, and that will give you a lot of insight. So next point is that reuse water drained out from AC, RO for cleaning utensils, watering plants and others. Yet again, simple solution. You must have seen that when you are using an air conditioner, that a lot of water flows from that outside pipe, and it just falls somewhere on the floor and then it gets wasted. But you can just redirect it somewhere to water plants or into your garden, so it will be a better use. So yet another simple but a very powerful suggestion. Next is that prefer a water purification system that wastes less water. There are many kind of systems are there, but if you see some of those older RO machines or water purification, they give a lot of bad water output. So at the same time, your good water is coming from somewhere else. There is a lot of bad water which is discarded. So these were all inefficient previous, the older ones, but I'm sure they're still installed in many houses and offices. So I think here also, when it comes to water purification system, we should go for better ones, more efficient ones. So basically, whatever water related equipments or machines or pipes are there, for example washing machines also, now these days the more efficient ones are coming and they are using much less water. Otherwise my washing machines use a lot of water. I mean, if you do a test, I mean, if you wash yourself and if you use a washing machine, you will see the difference, the amount of water, more additional water which is required for a washing machine. So now efficient washing machines are also coming. So we should use basically efficient water related equipments and tools. So this was it. These were the suggestive activities under Mission Life to save water under the sub theme of save water. I hope you are already following all these things, and if not, you will think about it and you will implement some of these to save water. Thank you for watching.